Hi, welcome to Joe Bloggs Smoothies. And the reason that I'm making this video is that we should all be eating more fruit and vegetables. And whilst it's easy to say, yeah, okay, I'll do that later in the day, I bet most days, most of us don't have the 5 recommended portions of fruit and veg. The World Health Organization says that we should be eating almost a pound, 400 grams of fruit and vegetables every single day. But unfortunately, I think for breakfast, a lot of us are eating this sort of stuff, bread, carbohydrates. And if you're trying to get away from that sort of diet, but you're looking for something a bit more interesting, then I think smoothies are an absolutely fantastic alternative. And I've got a few tips today that might help you to actually build this into your daily routine. In today's video, we're going to make a banana berry smoothie, which is going to be full of antioxidants, potassium, magnesium, fiber, and give you that healthy boost, the kickstart to your day that could actually give you 2 or 3 portions of your 5 a day recommended. Now, I'm using the NutriBullet. This isn't sponsored, I just think it's a great product. And I'm going to make it with water, but it's going to be really tasty. Now, I think smoothies are fantastic if you've got bananas that look like this. So I've got these bananas that have been sitting around for a few days. They're going a bit brown and nobody wants to eat them. And quite often they would just get thrown away. But what a brilliant tip that I have for you is if you cut these things up and then freeze them in a bag in the freezer. So you can see here, these are rock hard. So this has been in the freezer. What that does is obviously preserves them. It keeps all of the natural goodness, but also when you're using it in your smoothie, it makes it cold. So it's a fantastic tip. So I've done the same with blueberries. These blueberries were fresh, but I find quite often if I'm buying blueberries that half of them, or certainly a percentage of them, will be a bit squashy and not very nice. So those ones, stick them in a bag, put them in the freezer. These are rock hard. And it's a great way of using those not particularly nice to eat blueberries. I've done the same with my raspberries. You can see these raspberries are all completely frozen. So let's get started. So take my NutriBullet and let's put in, now I've got 100 grams of banana, which is basically one banana that's been frozen. You can see this is in a complete block. So let's put the banana in there. I've got around 75 grams of blueberries, and so this is a small cup, so you don't have to measure it. I'm just telling you if you want to do it to keep it exact. That's 75 grams of blueberries and 75 grams of frozen raspberries. You can see they're all icy. So stick all that in there. So I've got all my frozen fruit in here. Now I'm going to add water to this rather than fruit juice, because the problem with adding fruit juice, which quite a lot of people do, is that it adds a lot of sugar to this drink. So whilst it will make it taste nice, you then could get that sugar spike that we're trying to avoid by having these healthy smoothies. So I'm going to pour that water in. So take it up to the level, the max level on this NutriBullet container. Now, if I was to just blend this, it would be nice. It would be a nice smoothie, but just to add a little bit extra, what I've got is some fat-free yogurt. Now, if you're dairy-free, obviously you won't want to add any yogurt, but there are lots of dairy-free alternatives or vegan alternatives that you can add. And the reason that I'm adding this is just gives it a little bit of extra body, just gives it a little bit more substance, which I quite like in the morning when I'm having mine. So I'll just add a couple of tablespoons of the yogurt into that water. Just get this yogurt in there. So add that in. Don't really need to mix it because it's going to get blended anyway in a second. Just get rid of this spoon. Now, obviously important, I need to put the blending piece on. So do that nice and tight to avoid any spillage. Let's get this on here. Oh, it's been a bit tricky today, but there we go. Okay, that's nice and tight. So let's get blending. So the great thing about using the frozen fruit is it's going to be really cold. Okay, that's enough blending. So I'll give that a bit of a shake, and you can see that I've now got a very large container of red berry banana smoothie. Let's see if I've got the strength to be able to open this. Ah, it's tricky. There we go. Sometimes a tip if you're struggling to open that is to put some rubber gloves on. Gives you a bit more purchase when you're turning. So let's now test this smoothie. You can see that it looks really great. It's been blended perfectly, so it's still got some fibre. You can see the edge of that. I don't want it dripping on my worktop. You can see this is now, it looks fantastic. It's got bits of blueberry in it, suspended in the drink. Got myself a straw. It's a glass straw, obviously environmentally friendly these days. Don't want to use any plastic. This is reusable. Let's see what it tastes like. Well, that's absolutely lovely. So what's great about this is that it's already chilled because I used all the frozen fruit. So it's automatically reduced the temperature. It's lovely blended. You can taste the mixture of the berries. You can't really taste banana as such. It's got the body of the banana. It's given it a bit more substance. But I'd say the overriding flavour here is a mixture of the blueberry and the raspberry. Maybe a hint of banana if I was drinking wine and I was a connoisseur and I was doing a tasting session. It's a hint of banana, maybe. But what's great about this is that it's going to give me a slow release energy boost. I'm going to get potassium from the banana and magnesium. I'm getting fibre from the raspberries, and the blueberries are one of the world's best antioxidants. So that's going to help my skin and my heart. And the whole point of this really is to cut out those bread products, things that are carbohydrates that are just heavy in sugar, that are going to basically give you that spike in terms of energy and then the crash later. This is going to be slow release, but also it's giving me 2 or 3 of my recommended 5 a day. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you'll make yourself one of these, and I've also got some spare for later, which is quite nice. I'll have that at a mid-afternoon treat later. Hopefully you'll make the berry banana smoothie. Very, very easy, very simple to make. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and look out for the next smoothie that I'll be posting soon.